Okay guys, some second year revision on the equation of a line. So we're going to start off. The equation of the line is y equals 2x minus 4. Now the equation that we need to know is y equals mx plus c. That's what we get from our graph. And what mx plus c tells us is the following. It will tell us which way the direction of the line is going. So if that's the xy axis, it will tell us how the line is going. And b, where does it hit the y-axis? So if I was to draw a second line here in black, what I can do is it can tell us where it's going to hit the y-axis and what its slope is. So for example, y is the same as the y here. 2 is the same as m. This means the slope equals 2 because the slope is 2, right? Because m is the slope and m is 2. We see that the c value is minus 4. So this means that it hits the y-axis at 0 minus 4. So it intercepts at 0 minus 4. At what point does the line intersect the x-axis? Now, on the x-axis has something, every point on the x-axis has something in common. This is that y equals 0. So if we write down the formula y equals 2x minus 4, we can replace y with 0 and we get 2x minus 4 equals 0. Bring over the minus 4, 4 equals 2x, 2x is equal to 4, x equals 2. So this is the point 2, 0. What is the slope of any line that is perpendicular to 2x minus 4? Perpendicular slopes are basically, if you write down perpendicular slope is turn the slope upside down and change the sign. So if I have a slope of 2, which I do, a perpendicular slope is going to be equal to, that's 2 over 1, turn it upside down, we get a half, change the plus sign into a minus sign, so the slope is minus a half. Okay, next one. Use the grid on the right and write down the slopes of the line P. Now, this could be done two ways. The first way you could do it is you could use the formula and you could write down these 2 points and you could say that's the point 6, 4. This is the point 0, 1. You could go, okay, this is x2, y2. This one here is x1, y1. You could get the slope formula and you could say y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And what you could have down here is 4 minus 1 divided by 6 minus 0, which is 3 over 6, which equals a half. Now, another way of getting the slope is rise over run. And rise over run is a bit quicker in this case because we already have the graph to begin with. So take any 2 points you want on the graph, maybe these 2 points here, and what you can say is that the run is 4 to the right and the rise is 2 up. So rise is 2 over 4, that equals a half. Another way of getting the slope would be to choose a different 2 points. This point here and this point here. This is a run of 2 and a rise of 1. 1 over 2 is still a half. Okay, so no matter what, the slope is a half. Now that that's done, the slope being a half, it wants us to write down the equation of P in the form y equals mx plus c. So we know that y equals a half x because m is a half because the slope is a half. We have to find the c value. The c value is where it hits the y-axis. C equals 1. So it's going to be a half x plus 1. Or, so that's this equation here, a half x plus 1. Okay. Which of these lines is parallel to 2y minus x equals 3? So what we need to do with 2y minus x equals 3 is we need to get the y on its own. So we get 2y equals x plus 3. Now what we got to do to both sides is divide by, get rid of the 2. So what we're going to do is we're going to divide by 2. So we're going to get y equals x over 2 plus 3. The slope of this line is a half because it's basically y equals a half x plus 3 over 2. The c value is 3 over 2, which means it cuts the x-axis at 1.5, and its slope is a half, so it's actually parallel to the line already drawn. Okay, but it didn't ask us about that. It just asked us to get the equation of the line. Okay, so it wants to know which ones are parallel. If they're parallel, they have the same slope, and we know that the slope has to be equal to a half. Slope equals a half. So that's what we got to do now. So let's see which one of these has a slope of a half. The first one, bring over the x over your side, and we get 2y equals minus 1x plus 5. Divide by 2, we get minus a half x plus 5 over 2. Its slope is minus a half, therefore not parallel. So we rub that out. Next one. Bring over to minus 1. Once again, get y on its own. Then y is going to be 2x over 4 plus 1 over 4. Y equals a half x, because 2 over 4 is a half, plus a quarter. The slope of this one is a half, because a half comes in front of the x. So B is parallel. Now let's check up on C. C, the slope of C is basically 2, because it's already in the form mx plus c. M is 2. The slope is 2, not parallel. A is not parallel. And this one here we'll find out in a second. We'll bring the 1 over the other side, so we get x equals a half x minus 1 equals a half y. We're going to spin it around, so a half y equals x minus 1. Multiply by 2, and we get y equals 2x minus 2. The slope for this one equals 2. Therefore, it's not parallel. Only B is parallel. Okay. Next question. Minus 3 and 1, minus 3, 1 and 3, 6 are 2 points on the plane. Find M, the midpoint of AB. On which axis does M lie? Okay, so the midpoint formula, we're going to label these x1, y1, x2, x2, y2. And we're going to get the midpoint formula. The midpoint formula is going to be x1 plus x2 divided by 2, y1 plus y2 divided by 2. And what we're going to get here is minus 3 plus 3 divided by 2. The next one is going to be 1 plus 9 divided by 2. This one turns out to be 0 over 2 plus 10 over 2. This is the point 0, 5. On the xy plane, x value is 0, which means it's here. So you can say 0 minus 1, and then it's 0, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's up here. Okay, so it's on the y-axis. Now, next question. So 0, 5. Find the slope of AB. Now the slope of AB can be done just using the slope formula. M equals y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. Therefore the slope is going to be 9 minus 1 divided by 3 minus 3. That's going to get me 8. Well, to be honest, we could just use the calculator for that. Without using the calculator, it should be 8 over 6, which is 4 over 3. If you have a bit of problem doing that, all you gotta do is this. You just put down 9 minus 1. You need your fraction at the start. So we got 9 minus 1 divided by 3 minus bracket minus 3, close bracket, and it gives us 4 over 3. Exactly what we're looking for there. Okay. Find the slope of AB. Done. Write down a slope of any line perpendicular to AB. Remember, perpendicular slopes. This is part 3 now. So that's 4 over 3. 4 over 3. Any slopes perpendicular, turn it upside down and change the sign. It was a plus, now it's a minus. Minus 3 over 4. Now find the equation of the line through the origin which is perpendicular to AB. through the origin. It means 0, 0 is on this line. Okay? And what we know also about this line is that the slope is minus 3 over 4. See, we know the slope of AB, we know the slope perpendicular to AB, therefore we can use the equation of a line y minus y1 equals m into x minus x1. What we can do here is y minus 0 equals minus 3 over 4 into x minus 0. Then we can get y equals minus 3x over 4. Cross multiply the 4. 4y equals minus 3x. Bring over the minus 3x. We get 3x minus 4y equals 0. Okay, so quite easy question. Number 4. This diagram shows 3 parallel lines. Write down the equations of A and B. So we're going to use y equals mx plus c. For line A, we can see that the c value is 3. So c value equals 3. Now we try and get the slope here. To get the slope, we just need 2 points on the line. So what we can do here is we can get the 2 points on the line here and here. Now we're going to do rise over run. The rise is 2 and the run is, so we do rise over run, which is going to be 2 over 1. Slope is 2. So slope equals 2, c value equals 3. So it's going to be, equation of line A is going to be y equals 2x plus 3. Okay, next one. We're working on the green line. The green line. Once again, rise over run. Now, it hits its c value is minus 2. Because it hits the y-axis of minus 2. Its rise over run, pick any 2 points you want. I'm going to pick 2 different points this time. So its rise over run is going to be 2 across, 4 up, 4 over 2. Therefore, its slope is 2 as well. Therefore, if you use y equals mx plus c, where m is the slope, it's going to be 2x, and the c value is minus 2. So there's the equation of our 2 lines. Okay. Write down an equation of any other line that is parallel to these 3. Well, what you know is about A, B, and the third one there, which I'll try and get a brown colour for this. You notice that they all have y equals 2x on them. It can be 2x plus anything, and they're all parallel. We can see that they all have the same slope. So to write down another equation, we could just say y equals 2x, and just use a number that we haven't used yet. 2x plus 5 would be another one. So if I was to use 2x plus 5, all I'd have to do is draw a line like this, that it's parallel to the other 2. So I'd come down maybe, it'd be like this. There's another line parallel to those ones, right? That's 2x plus 5. Okay? So you can see it's quite easy to get another line that's parallel to these. Okay? So that's the first 2 questions done. L is the line x minus 2y plus 2. M is the line 3x plus y minus 8. Use simultaneous equations to find the coordinates of point P, the point of intersection of L and M. So what we have here is basically a case of we have 2 lines, okay? And what we need to do is turn them into a simultaneous equation. So L becomes the equation x minus 2y equals minus 2. M becomes 3x plus y. Bring over the minus 8 comes plus 8. Now we have to do this equation now. Okay. Now to do this equation, we pick a letter to get rid of. I'm going to pick that a y is to get rid of. I'm going to get rid of y. Now to get rid of y, what I do is I look at the numbers that become before both y's. This one is going to get multiplied by 1, which means it stays the same. This one here is going to get multiplied by 2, which means it's going to change. So we're going to get x minus 2y equals minus 2, because you're basically switching the numbers so they cancel each other, right? And then we're going to multiply 2 by 3x to get 6x, 2 by 1y to get plus 2y, and 2 by 8 to get 16. Then we're going to cross it over. We're going to put our line down. 1x plus 6x is 7x. Minus 2y plus 2y is 0y. 16 minus 2 is 14. X equals 14 divided by 7. X equals 2. Now that we know that answer, what we got to do next is we got to put this answer into one of the original equations. So we could use 3x plus 1y equals 8. This means that 3 times 2 plus y equals 8. 6 plus y equals 8. Therefore y must be 2. Okay, or y equals 8 minus 6, which gets you 2, because you're reading the 6 over your side. Okay, now we're on question 5. If the line 2x plus y minus 7 is parallel to the line 4x plus ky minus 3 equals 0, find the value of k. Now remember, they're parallel. To get this, when you're already given the equation of the line, we usually use y equals mx plus c. So you have 2x plus y minus 7 equals 0. Let's get the y on its own. So we move both these over one side, and we get y equals minus 2x plus 7. What we know about this line is that the slope is minus 2. And we know its y-intercept is 7. But we're only really concerned about the slopes, okay? Because we're told parallel. Parallel means slopes. This means the slope of this line here is also minus 2. So what we get here is we get 4x plus ky minus 3 equals 0. Get y on its own. Bring over the 4x, bring over the 3. So ky equals minus 4x plus 3. Divided by k, bring the k underneath. Y equals minus 4 over kx plus 3 over k. Remember the formula, y equals mx plus c. The m value is minus 4 over k. So slope equals minus 4 over k. But what we know about this slope is this slope has to equal minus 2. So then what we can say is that cross multiply up to k, minus 4 equals minus 2k. Spin it around. Change the signs. Divide both sides by minus 1 or multiply both sides by minus 1. Depends what way you think about it. Bring down to 2. K equals 2. Alright. Now, we can change that k into a 2. The line 2x plus 3y minus 6 intersects the x-axis at 6 and the y-axis at b. Find the coordinates of a and b. The first part we gotta do here. Okay, so now we're gonna draw these we're gonna draw a line 2x plus 3y minus 6. Okay, so what we're gonna get is 2x plus 3y minus 6 equals 0. What we need to do is we need to get 2 points on this line. The best way is to first of all make x equals 0. This means that x is gone and what's left is 3y minus 6 equals 0. The 6 over the other side, we get 3y equals 6. Bring the 3 underneath, y equals 6 over 3, y equals 2. This is the point x equals 0, y equals 2. 0, 2. The next point is when we let y equal 0. So this means the y's disappear, and what we're left with is 2x minus 6 equals 0. Bring over to 6, 2x equals plus 6. Bring down to 2, x equals 6 over 2. X therefore equals 3. Okay? And because x equals 3, this is the point x equals 3, y equals 0. So now we just got to quickly draw this out. So I'm going to draw this out. And what we have here is our xy axis. And we can just go, that is number 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 1, minus 2, minus 3. We're going to draw these 2 points, 0, 2. 0 across, 2 up, this point here, 3, 0 is your point over here, and here is our line. You could continue it, we might just use a ruler on this one just so we can continue it over a bit more. So if you're drawing this, you could just Okay, so we have this line here now, so we know that it goes through both points. You could stop it there, but you're well entitled to continue on if you wanted to find other points. Okay, so that's our line there. Oop. Okay, so what are we doing next? Find the area of the triangle OAB, where O is the origin. Okay, so what it wants us to find is the triangle O, and A is the x-axis one, and B is the y-axis one. Now remember, the area of a triangle equals a half base multiplied by height. We can say that the base is 3 and the height is 2. So equals a half 3 by 2. Put that into your calculator and you're going to get 3 units squared. Now, next question. The graph shown is a line y equals ax plus b as shown. It's basically the same thing as y equals mx plus c. Find the values of a and b. Basically the slope is a. Slope equals a. And y-intercept is c, which also equals b. Now the y-intercept is 3, so this means c equals 3, but in this question it's actually called b, so b equals 3. The slope, let's do rise over run. Rise is minus 3, run is plus 5. Rise over run, minus 3 over plus 5. So a equals minus 3 over 5. So the slope will be, the equation line will be minus 3 over 5x plus 3. Next one. The graph shows the lines A, B and C. Which lines have a negative slope? If they have a negative slope, they're usually going bottom right or top left. If they have a positive slope, they're going this way. Okay, so we can, A is positive, B is negative, C is negative. Okay, so which lines have negative slopes, B and C? Use the grid to find the slope of A. So let's find the slope of A. So find 2 points on A. That looks like a nice point there. This looks like a nice point here. And we're just going to do is we're just going to count across what each one is. So we go across and up for A. So what the run is going to be, it's worth 2. And the rise is worth 1, 2, 3, 4. So rise over run, 4 over 2. Slope is 2. Okay, next part. Associate each line with one of these equations. Okay. So what we're going to do for each equation is we're going to put in the form y equals mx plus c. So D so line D is y equals 2x plus 1. Line E is basically y equals minus 1x plus 10. And F is going to be, we're going to move over to 2x, so 5y equals minus 2x plus 17. Y equals, bring the 5 underneath, minus 2 over 5x plus 17 over 5. So F is going to be y equals minus 2 over 5x plus 17 over 5. Let's just look at the C values to tell each one apart. It'd be very easy just using the C values. Which one crosses at y equals 1? A. So this one here is line A. And it also has a slope of 2 that we got earlier. Line E crosses at 10. So this here is line line small b. And F is going to be C, the last one there. So that's A, B and C. Okay. What is the equation of the line parallel to y equals 3x plus 2 that crosses at the y-axis at 0, minus 1? So it's parallel to y equals 3x plus 2. So y equals mx plus c, y equals 3x plus 2. the slope of this one is 3. If it's parallel, the slope of the line we're talking about is also 3. So we know the slope of the line we're looking for is 3, and we know it has a point 0, minus 1. And we can call this point 0, minus 1 x1 and y1. Then we just put up the equation of a line formula, which is this here. Then all we gotta do is y minus 1 equals 3 into x minus 0. I'll multiply these out. Minus 1, if you aren't sure about this, minus bracket minus 1 is plus 1, right? So y plus 1 equals 3x. So that's the equation of our line. We could write it like this: y equals 3x minus 1. Or we could write it like this: minus 3x plus y plus 1 equals 0. Or another way of writing it would be to multiply all that by minus 1. So there's 3 different ways of presenting that answer. All of them get full marks. Okay. Now, the following is a sketch of a child's slide. What is the gradients of the slope of the slide? So the slide is this part here. Okay. So now that we know what the slide is, we're just going to make this a bit bigger. Now, let's make a triangle out of this slide. So what I'll do is I'm just going to draw a line like this. 1, 2, and 3. Now what we can tell about this line is the following. From here to here is 3, but from here to here is 0.3. So 3 take away 0.3 is 2.7. We know this here is now 2.7 tall. Okay, and we know that it's 4 meters wide. So slope equals rise over run. So if you start here, your run is plus 4 and your rise is 2.7. So it's 2.7 over 4. And we get 27 over 40. Find the gradient slope and compare the side 27 40. For safety reasons, the gradient of the slide should be no greater than 0.7. Is this slide safe? Well, I don't know if that's greater than 0.7 or not, so I'm just going to press the change button. It's less than 0.7, so yes, gradient is less than 0.7. Now remember to reuse the question against it. The gradient, which is another word for saying slope, less than 0.7. Okay, that will conclude the end of the first video.